something like that. But I thought I held the track record here. But we got the kids about to start here in a moment.
Oh, man, they are ready to go. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that record. I'll have to – maybe it got lost in the cloud.
Yeah, we got to look for it. There was no cloud then.
There's the go. The push bikes are going, man.
All right.
Anything in the technique you see?
Well, you got to notice how the lady in the pink, she just is really smooth with her flow.
Oh, man.
You know, nice big strokes.
That's nice. Very good.
And then we got a little tangle.
A little bit of traffic.
Bike.
Yeah, a little traffic there.
Thank you, parents. Thank you, everyone, for bringing your kid out to come and race.
Very cool. A couple more still coming. I love the color coordination that some of these kids are pulling off, too. It's brilliant.
This is a really neat program for the kids. I really enjoy seeing this. I'm sure the parents do, too. And the kids are really enjoying themselves.
So, Nelson, you trained here at our Velodrome?
We trained here many years ago in the early 80s. And we really enjoyed it. It didn't have this white color surface at the time. I think it was a black top. And we used different equipment because it's such a big track. But it was an excellent track for us to train throughout the spring season because of the fact that in Europe they had a lot of 400-meter tracks.
Oh. That would help. Oh, man, the training wheels are going now, too. Very nice. I think we're going to bring up the next group up here. It looks like we're set to go for a lap. We let them go for a whole lap if they're willing.
Wow, that's a long way around, 400 meters.
Yeah.
I want to talk to you about, and I want to bring this up for all our listeners out there. Come by and see me anytime this evening over at the Vision tent. I got some Vision dollars to purchase stuff online, especially my line of chain rings and disc wheels. Also, I'm signing autographs, so come on by and get an autograph signed, make a donation. And we also have a raffle to go with that donation. We're working together with the Major Taylor Project, along with the Velodrome and the restoration of whatever they need to get done here. So a lot of that give back money is coming back to this program along with the Major Taylor Project program.
Yeah, I'm going to speak to you a little bit about what you've kind of seen about the Major Taylor folks, because I'm curious on your take on that, especially as it relates to, again, keeping young people involved in the sport. Off we go. This is a one-lap ride. They're pedaling. Look at that form, man. Oh,
and look
that's
at the little
brave.
one on the banking. Now she's got some speed.
You know, I think Coach said right before they start, stay below the blue line. You know what?
Yeah.
What do adults know anyways?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Around the outside, as you see in the banking.
I watch Mom and Dad do that, so I get to too.
There it is.
There it is. That's the tough part. Now, the best part about biking is that life lesson of when you fall over.
You dust yourself off and get back up.
That's right.
Do it again. But she's smiling.
Oh, yes, she is.
She just need a little help. And she's going to get going again and chase back. Everybody give her a round of applause.
Yeah, right back on it. Now, it would really put a smile. Yep, of course. What's going to put a smile on your face the most is she's right back up in that sprinter's lane.
Yes. So she's chasing third and fourth place.
That's right. She needs the short lane around.
Here comes your winner.
Oh, man.
Your leader.
That's right. Whoa. This isn't BMX, buddy.
That was going so fast, you're out of control.
He's ripping up our Velodrome. Whoa, look at that sprint. He's trying to garner a response. Keep going. Keep going. A little more. All the way here. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. That arrow positioning.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's your future of cycling right here at the Velodrome.
Oh, with the basket and everything. I just call that utilitarian.
And then her teammate is coming to get third place after falling.
Oh, yes. And brightly.
The shoe came off.
Yeah,
get
shoe
your
wear.
shoe.
Shoe wear. Are we not having fun, folks? Come on. Look at this.
Oh.
Whoa, right down the sprinter's lane.
Here she comes.
Keep going. Keep going. All the way over here.
All right.
Nice job.
After falling down, get second place.
And that's all. Now you're done. Oh, man.
Oh.
I think she's gonna be in until we finish racing tonight. One wants a second go of it looks like. Thank you. I've been asked to give a very special happy birthday to Alicia out there.
Alicia, are you out there? Raise your hand.
Where's
Wave
she at?
to us. Where are you? We want to say a big happy birthday to you. There she is on the infield, folks.
Oh,
happy birthday
there you
to
are. Happy birthday. Your son's good to you.
And it looks like our next group of kids is lining up.
You know, I'm excited for, if we get some of the older kids out here, the next thing that's coming up is our second ride in the sprint final. The Broadmark Elite women are going to be coming out here for their second ride. So
Now,
pretty critical moment coming up here soon.
And you and I talked about that. The second ride is the most important ride after the first ride, of course.
Oh. Well, yeah.
You know, but the second ride is a do or die ride, which is, I all know too well about second ride.
Oh, no. Okay. We won't pull off any Band-Aids or rip up any scars open or anything like that. Not today.
No, but the second ride is always a good ride.
It is.
But it's going to be exciting. So I'm happy everyone's here to stay around and witness the second ride. But as our kids line up, they're getting ready to go.
They're getting a lot of clarification here at the line. They got to make sure they know exactly how to hold this thing together. And off we go. Look at the bikes have really upgraded here. One to go. One to go. Hey, they're even filing into line here. Look at this. Very nicely done. One to go. One to go. As they're going around that lap and you're thinking to yourself, man, that kid looks fast. Maybe I should give him some more love on the track. You can get them signed up for some more educational experiences here at the Velodrome. That one piece of instruction to stay down on the concrete, that's a hard one. They hear it, and then they want to go for it.
Actually, I would think that they just don't know any better yet.
That's
and then
right.
they'll get better at it as they go.
Absolutely. We have week-long classes for some of our juniors that can come out here and learn during the summer months. If you're interested in putting a young person into a class,
Yes.
we offer them. Velodrome.org. You can sign up there.
What is that again?
Velodrome.org. It's the easiest name in the internet.
Velodrome.org.
I'm telling you.
All right.
We own it. Pretty cool.
There's your leader.
Look at that. Very well ridden. Calm and collected, I'd have to say there, from our
Yes.
leaders.
All right.
The monster. Oh, yes. Star Wars is here. The Stormtrooper. Make sure to turn into the grass, kids. We're done. Turn into the grass when you're done. We need somebody pointing them into the grass over here. Very adventurous riders. Come on into the grass, guys. All done. Nice work. Nice job.
We have two more out there. Two more out there. Two more kids to go, folks. They're coming out.
So Nelson was talking about it a little bit earlier. Vision is here, and they're the ones that helped bring Nelson out here in the first place. You can go over to the tent anytime to pick up what they're called Vision Bucks. Basically, it's a coupon. It's worth cash if you're going to purchase Vision gear.
Yes.
Right, okay. And how can they get some of that?
Well, they can actually go to FSA.com as well, but it's all on the Vision Bucks. So all the details are right there on the dollars. And also, if you come see me and get an autograph, I have a special coupon on top of that coupon.
Oh, very good deal. So you'll be hanging out after we're done kind of commenting together here. I imagine somewhere after the sprints, you'll be back on over at the tent, and I'll let folks know they can go check in with you.
Yes, and I'm excited about the sprints. I'm excited about the kids finishing as well.
Nicely done.
Looks like we got another group of kids about to come out.
Yes, indeed. And now the bikes are getting even bigger. Man, they showed up in force this year, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Again, we talked about the future. and this is the future, and these kids are going to grow up and be really good out here.
What about what is Major Taylor Project doing to help support, our youth, young kids working through that Cascade Bicycle Club? What are you seeing out of those guys?
Well, of course, working with the Cascade Bicycle Club and the Major Taylor Project, you can always look it up online and make a donation towards that project. But the kids are they're getting out and around town. They're doing good quality recreational rides, and it looks like we had a start here.
We do. Perfect time filling. It's like you practice this, man.
There's our kids around turn 1 right now. But as I was saying about the project, it's a great program for the kids. I was one of those kids in a project like that in New York City growing up, and I'm really happy to see what they're doing with the kids. They just did the STB.
Oh, right. STP, Seattle, Portland.
STP ride,
Yeah.
yes. And I was real proud of those kids that do 100 miles there.
Yeah. That's a heck of an effort.
And, for the kids to ride back, I think it's a lot much. But, again, they grow into our future to be able to do it recreationally on their own.
Yeah. It's a cool project, and they really do depend on community support to be sustaining. It's a community outreach effort. It's funded by our communities. So consider making that donation. I think the kids just tried the warm-up circle.
Oh yeah, they sure did jump on the warm-up circle. They did the shortcut. They cut 10 meters out of that.
I know you're just having a blast up here. I've seen a lot of Kiddie Kilos. There's something in the water tonight. Our kids are really, really adventurous this evening. I have never seen that.
That's good. Riding up on the track.
Brave,
and
creative,
through. Yes.
Risk-taking. This is good.
This is good. That was our finish right there.
There it was. They all came in together. That was pretty impressive.
It looks like, do we have any more kids coming out? One more?
Last group coming onto the track now, and maybe I'll help out Amara with the announcement here. Staying on the track. We're taking one fast lap, and when you're done across the finish line, we're going to direct you into the grass.
These look like the older kids.
Yeah, this is
gonna be fast.
Oof, look out.
Yes.
Look out.
So after this event, we have the sprint you mentioned.
That's right. Yep. So we're going to be actually queuing that up here pretty soon. Ride 2 is going to feature, first up will be Rachel McKinnon for Rainbow Fox Racing taking on Taylor Crane, Lake Washington Velo. It was Taylor Crane that took the first ride.
Okay.
And after that will be Madeline Godby and Kate O'Brien riding for the bronze and the silver. Our USA Cycling competitor Madeline Godby did take the first ride there.
Yes, and I witnessed that ride as well.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the first heat of the first ride, but I'm excited to be
Crane
up
and
here on the
McKinnon
stand to
were
watch.
quite close. They really took it down to the line. We'll see if O'Brien and Godby might be able to change up the formula a little bit, and that one might be a little closer in the second ride.
And
the big kids are moving. One to go, kids. One to go.
Okay, they got through turn 1 and 2 safely.
Yeah, now we just get to watch the fun. We're like learning. They're teaching us to hold our breath a little bit. It's like,
yes. Look at the kid on the outside with the helmet.
Oh man.
Look at that charge. There's your future.
Oh, he's gonna go seize it right now. The racing form.
Oh, he's coming around him now. He's gonna get up on the banking.
Oh man. Oh, fun.
Yes.
Going for it.
Give him a round of applause,
There
parents,
we go.
family, friends.
Redmond loves our kids, and especially when we're staying active. Good job. All done, right into the grass. Nice work.
Good job, kids.
Now, the real trick is to keep bringing them out. That's the real trick. You'll find that this is a fun community to be a part of. Unlike other types of cycling, this is a community here. We race all the time. Hey, put your hands together. We got one more.
Yes,
we got one more here. Nicely done.
Now, is this a program for the kids that they can have every Friday night at all?
We do it every other Friday, actually, all summer long.
All right, so we're going to bring the kids off the infield and bring them back out. So
nice
now
job.
It's safe.
Hey, Nelson mentioned it earlier. The loudest round of applause we need to give is actually to, not just the kids, Mom and Dad for coming out here.
So
thank you. How about one more round of applause for our parents
for
and our kids for coming out tonight. Our thanks to Cliff Bar for helping support and sponsor our young riders tonight.
We got about 100 kids out here tonight for this event.
Yeah.
And is this something that would go every Friday night moving on this spring, summer?
I would love to see this many kids every single Friday night. Right now, we go about every other Friday, and we don't get as many as we get tonight. This is kind of our big draw of the year. But we do host it every other night. Good Bar Kiddie every other Friday night, first and third week of the month. So kids come on out, and we see 25, 30 kids showing up pretty regularly for that program.
So you parents, now that you know this is every other Friday night, you got to get the other neighbor kids to come out and make it a parent night to come watch your kids have fun. Just come on out.
There's a beverage garden on Friday nights too. Every week.
All
just
right.
throwing that in there. It's just,
So dad will drive and mom and the other moms have a good time while the kids play.
There you go. All right, so our fantastic kids are making their way off, and yes, it's a traffic jam. It's a good problem to have. A lot of kids showing up. It's a good problem to have.
So while we're waiting on the kids to exit the track, again, for those folks that are out there, after I'm done with the stage and watching some of the heats and the finals tonight, come by the Vision tent, say hello, grab some Vision bucks, get yourself a raffle ticket. I have some autographed memorabilia merchandise as well, so come on by and say hello. Proceeds go to the Major Taylor Project, to the Jerry Baker Velodrome as well as all the other kid projects that I support nationwide. So come on out and support me and our future of cycling.
And if you missed it, of course, Nelson's not just a good speaker and a good guy up here. He's also an Olympic medalist. If you want to meet an Olympic medalist.
I want to say this. I walk around and I sat between some folks and I explained to a couple what was going to happen in the Keirin heat. And then I got up and left because it's like I say, well, what do I know? But it was kind of fun.
Who's this guy? What are you trying?
Yeah. But for those of you that don't know some of my accolades, and you all got cell service here, you can Google it. Olympic champion, world champion cyclist. It was fun to see the tandem go at it as being a world champion on the tandem in 1985.
There you go.
So, again, it's great. And come on by and get your selfies. I lived in Europe for 8 years, racing Keirin in Japan for 5 years. Racing on the 6-day circuit for 8 of those 5 as well.
Wow.
And during the time of the wall coming down in 91, 92, I was living in East Germany, training with the Germans and the Russians as a professional cyclist. That's American news.
That is an incredible resume. So that's why we can listen to you and should. We're going to bring up this ride. It's going to be Rachel McKinnon and Taylor Crane for their second ride. On deck is Madeline Godby and Kate O'Brien. Ride 2, as you said, it's the do or die. Who's in the do or die in this situation? McKinnon, the rider who's getting a little bit closer to the rail, she's got the outside position, is forced here to find a victory. Otherwise, it's done.
And it's a tough ride. There's no coaching going to the line, at least in my day. So we're at a point where if you think it's already too late, but at the same time, the game plan is already set as the women get set on the line here. They pretty much know what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And for you folks that are enjoying this, you're just going to watch another high-speed chess match.
I love that analogy. I've heard that before, this chess match idea. Where does that come from?
Because it is. You got to be smart. You got to be quick about being smart. You have to be strong about your thoughts. So it's a 33.5% of everything working as one to get 100% of everything as a whole. It was kind of fun to be at the level I was as we start this race.
Yeah, the chess match idea I love just because of the way that the tactics play out. And right off the bat here, we see Taylor Crane now forced to kind of lead it out, unlike the first matchup where it was the other way around. McKinnon was taking that lead position. So now the question is the way that Taylor rode it last time, she stayed off a little bit, had some running room, went at the wheel, got into that slipstream, got the slingshot working pretty well for her coming into turn 3. It worked out for her that time, but now she finds herself at the front. She knew that coming in. She knew that was how it was going to be. What's the change in mindset when that happens?
Well, for those folks that are listening, the first race you draw for your number 1 or number 2 position, and then the second race it's a mismatch, so it switches up. So that's why she's in the front. She finds herself in the front. But we're in the number 1 plate, and watching her ride and warm up, she can ride from the front or the back. She's just she's particular about using this particular ride the way she's doing it.
Yeah.
Which was she got to run at her in turn 3, 4.
Yep.
You got to look at the flags and a little bit of breeze coming. But right now she's in the lead right now, and she's watching her. Mm-hmm. She's keeping the pace slow. But there's so much more coaching I would like to see and do, but it's hard.
Yeah, from up here, you just we have to you want to get in there and like workshop it. It's fun, you know. There's so much that goes into the preparation mentally, as you speak, about how you approach the race, and then when is it time to flip the switch, right? And what part of the track, what space are you going to use to make that move, and how are you going to react to what your opponent's doing in those microseconds?
Well, that's a good question about flipping the switch with 1 lap to go.
Here we go.
The speed is slow right now. Do you keep it high or do you keep it slow?
Right now, they're seeming to ride side by side. So Taylor Crane is going to be out of the saddle. She's dancing on the pedals. That's just kind of I'm ready to go. I'm keeping myself loose. No big movement yet. She's got the guarded lane. So if McKinnon wants to go left, she has to kind of either slow down to get through, or she has to just kind of go around her on the right, and that's not a great way to go. So Taylor playing defensively. She'll try to match. Now McKinnon has to get a wheel. She gets the wheel in front. Now Taylor finds herself behind. She's got very little time to respond, and she's starting to. The acceleration is coming. Taylor tries to find the second one. She'll be in third place. Here she comes on turn 4. Does she have an acceleration? McKinnon trying to hold off. Crane, McKinnon. Oh!
That was a photo finish. I couldn't even call that, and I'm right here on top of the start finish line.
That's why I didn't say anything.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my. Let me just analyze this for you folks that are watching. We're gonna say the young lady in the light colors. The young lady in the light colors. So she was at the top of the track.
Right.
And she had a nice little run because she had more of a downhill on the backstretch.
Right. Exactly.
But she's not as fast as the other young lady, so she had to go 100% and give it her all to try to get to the line first because time was running out. It might have worked this time.
It might have worked one time. It didn't. It will go to Taylor as it goes to the photo finish to confirm.
All right.
And a close finish. So Taylor will be our third place medalist. And then a congratulations also, McKinnon, for fantastic racing today.
And McKinnon rode a good ride. She did it smartly.
Yeah.
For someone that was obviously a little faster this time around. But now she's going to go back to the drawing board because that trick will not work next time.
Right.
You know, so now you come back out here and do it again.
Keep working.
And she'll be in the final round, the gold medal round next time around.
There you go. You learn from every experience.
Yes.
Coming up now to the track, the ride for first and second place in the sprint tournament. Madeline Godby now finds herself lined up close to the rail, riding for USA Cycling. In that maple leaf red with the blue jersey, proudly wearing Canada down the leg. That is Kate O'Brien. It's going to be O'Brien that is forced to find a victory right now, as advantage currently rests with Godby. She found ride 1. We'll see if they can change things up and if the formula might just work out in her favor this time. On deck, we have the Greg Cycles Keirin Finals for the Elite Men. Greg Cycles Keirin Final for the Elite Men is coming up next. I really enjoyed having Nelson up here, and of course having the insight, thought of an Olympic medalist and the level of preparation and the kind of athlete that he is. And if you found that conversation even a little bit interesting, you'll want to just stop in at the Vision tent real quick. They're only going to be here for about another 30, 40 minutes or so. You can get your opportunity to get the autograph taken care of, throw in some support for the Major Taylor project that we've been talking about, and of course, get to meet Nelson yourself. Oh, he's going to join me for one more race because this is, as you said, do or die for the gold medal. Yeah, you got to be here. Okay, good. I'm glad you're still with me.
So I just took a moment to sign some autographs for some folks that was here, some fans. So that's great.
Oh, great. This one's a little bit quicker as the bell's ringing. So we saw this in the first matchup, but last time it was not O'Brien at the front. It was actually the rider in the second position. So they've also flip-flopped. Now there's a nice move into the bankment. She'll roll down to the left, taking that sprinter's lane. And she's all in.
So that was a good launch that she did. That was done very tactful and very safe, the way she went underneath her.
And now it's all on O'Brien. Can she cover this gap that's been left? It's so close, but she just can't quite get there. Will it go to the USA Cycling rider? It will. Wow.
That was exciting.
Madeline Godby will be our gold medalist in the event.
Let's hear it for these ladies.
Kate O'Brien will be our silver medalist. Fantastic riding from both of them just to be in the gold and silver medal ride. Top speed of an elite class from both of these competitors. No question about that. I think we're going to see our champ here, Madeline, one more time. Here she is, folks. Couple of records today already broken. Why not also take on the track here for the sprint tournament? The fans like a high five if you're able. They like it, I promise. They're mostly kind. Don't bite corner one. I know you're anxious over there.
You know, I want to just say it's so much fun to win. I don't know how else to say it for the folks that are watching here. It's just, when you train and you try to eat right and sleep right and do all the preparation, because it's pretty nerve-wracking on the infield. It's just as much stress on the infield to get ready every second, every minute till you get called up to crossing the line and actually being successful about it. So it was easy for her to win because of all the stress that went on before she even got to the track. And a lot of people don't know that or take that for granted.
Yeah, that's the thing. We sometimes don't put ourselves in the shoes very well, right? It's hard to be in that place unless you've been there before.
Of course, because a lot of people say, you wish you should do this, you should do that. When you got to get on the infield, you got to warm up, you got to rest after your warm up. You got to make sure the gearing is correct, and then you may want to change it. But now it looks like we're lining up for, what is this? A Keirin final.
Our minor final for the elite men in the Keirin about ready to get started.
The minor final. I never heard that before.
7th through 12th place is what our designation for that.
The small final.
There you go.
The small final. Okay. We'll call it the minor final. I'll call it the small final. So this is the small money final.
You got it.
Got it. When we raced in Japan, you had the main event, and then you had the small final.
Got it.
Kentucky Derby, you have the main event,
Yep.
then you have all the filler races in
Right.
between. That's still worth a lot of money.
Sure. I follow.
And I wanted to share this with you and the folks out there, Corey, is that when I raced, it was 9 people on the track. I wish I had 6.
Yeah. It's a luxurious amount of space, you get to play with.
It's so much easier for you Keirin racers out there. It's so much easier that you have 6 guys, because back in the day, it was 9 on the track for a heat with 2 to qualify. And everyone is good.
Sure.
Even a repecharge to come back to go to the final is tougher than qualifying for the final.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have our heat after the first lap here. How fast would you like to say they're going right now with the first lap?
They're keeping it under 20. It's a real gradual bring up to speed here. Once we get through a couple more laps, we get closer to that 30-mile-an-hour mark before we drop them off, get them into that good zone for top speed. The length of our track, one of the things that's been really interesting to watch as this race has changed over the years is that it's a long track. There's a bit of a wind out there. There's often, these are sprinters. You let them out with a lap and have to go 600 meters away.
Yes.
It's kind of a reset sometimes. You'll see riders kind of just, okay.
And that's the tactical part about how you actually have to play it out. Do you want to be in the front now, or do you want to try to be in the front later?
So that's where we'll see, and I wouldn't be surprised the way this is lined up if that doesn't happen here. Right at the front, one of those riders to watch, that's bib 101, is Andrew Karlberg. He's got behind him John Bowie of the Liquid Velo team, the black and green.
Yes.
In the middle of that field for Bike Central. Mixing it up is our rider Stephen McLaughlin. Remember from the tandem attempt earlier tonight. So those front 3, definitely fast finishers.
So now with the motor pulled off with 1 lap to go.
This is for 7th place at the line. The bell's ringing, 1 to go for the elite men Keirin. That's our Broadmark rider, one of our local favorites. He's in the lead of the overall omnium for our elite men here at the track on our weekly race schedule. He's just kind of waiting. You can see he's got more speed, but he's waiting to apply it because he wants somebody to come up and challenge him. He doesn't want to use it too soon. McLaughlin was saving it right in the middle of that lineup, and now McLaughlin comes out with a nice attack through the back straight, just waiting to apply the full pressure. McLaughlin will give the fist up. He knows that was a good ride for him.
That was exciting. So thanks for having me up here. I guess we have the men's final now.
That's right. We're going to be having an exciting moment here. I'm going to invite all the folks again. Please come onto the Vision tent. They've got a few more minutes left to come say hi and check in with you, and we hope they can do that.
Well, thank you very much. And everyone, enjoy this Keirin final. It's going to be exciting. I kind of already know who to look for, but I won't say nothing because I like to say, what do I know? But come on down after this final and say hello. Get a selfie with me as well. An autograph poster, get some Vision bucks. And I'll see you later. So thanks for having me up here, Corey.
Yeah, man. Take care, Nelson. We thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
How about a round of applause for Nelson Vales coming up here on the microphone and giving us some info. Once again, I would like to encourage our riders to acknowledge our crowd here really quick. I'm going to start with lane 1 and work our way up so everybody knows who our finalists are. This is the ride for first through 6th place in the Elite Men Keirin event. First up in lane 1, Zach Kowalczyk. In lane 2, Jack Lindquist. Lane 3, Christian Miller. Lane 4, Joe Christensen. We know him as Josh Pro. In lane 5, it's Joshua Hartman. And finally, in lane 6, the Rocket, David Richter. All right, so now another Keirin. They'll be the last of them, as we are going to find out who is on top of the podium tonight for the Elite Men competition. It has been many rides just to get to this point. They've had to finish at the top of their fields over and over again. Underway with the sound of the gun. 4 laps. We know exactly what's going to happen right now. They're going to get lined up as we saw it, so not a lot of drama to talk about just yet. But in a couple of laps, we could see some real interesting things happen. Right at the front there, Zach Kowalczyk. Well, how does he win these Keirins? Oh, yeah, attacking from the front. What a good draw for him. He loves just being at the front and this kind of you-can't-catch-me mentality with this incredible effort that he can put out for long distances. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody in there. We've got some mixed skill sets. Certainly a sprinter right behind him, and Jack and output a lot of power. Christian Miller, again, maybe a little bit more of an all-arounder. He's got the ability to roll it. Might want to change things up. Hey, there's Star Trek making some noise. Help us out. Joe Christensen in the 4th lineup. We saw incredible speed from him in the qualifier. You'll remember the attack he had on the back straight. We know he's got top speed for days. Right behind him, Josh Pro, the same thing. Really set up a big attack, so we'll watch for both of the Star Trek riders. And at the back, he's a local favorite. I've watched him win crit after crit. I've watched him come out here and school people at his top speed. It's the Rocket in the dark green. Which one of them will find the recipe for success tonight? They're seeing 2 to go. Make some noise. Who's going to make it? We got a good idea of how these riders like to approach the race. Now the question is whose plan will work in their favor? In just a moment, the pacer's going to be out of the way. It's going to be Kowalczyk leading it out. Will he just immediately gun it? Is he going to sit up a little bit? Already seeing Lindquist looking over his shoulder. He's looking for somebody else to start moving. Look at this. Star Trek says they want to start moving up. Kowalczyk sees the movement from the team in blue. It's getting busy. Turn 4. Josh Pro's going to make a move. 1 to go. Look at that space in there. There's no room. Oh, Christensen and Josh Hartman at the front, side by side. Now Christensen tries to make the attack himself. And the big guy for Star Trek, it's one of our younger riders, the rider in the blue and black. He's just going all the way around in the front. Christensen. Nice race for our elite men in this Keirin final. And we have an official ruling on that last race. In accordance with our rules in regards to entering the sprinter's lane, there is a relegation to Christensen, bib 121, for entering the sprinter's lane while occupied and forcing the rider back. This relegates him to the back of the heat and by default puts it to Zach Kovalchuk, who came across the line second and is now at the front. Kovalchuk will actually win the race, followed closely by Josh Pro. All right, and coming up next, the John Duggan Masters Missing Out. Now, this is a fun one to watch. We are about ready to get this thing started. I'm going to hand it over to our officials to give the final instructions here to get our riders moving.
Okay, we're going to ride a Missing Out down to 5. Then we will have 1 no-pull lap with the bell. If there is a pull that we can't determine, you'll see a green flag on the back straight. We're going to try to show you bib numbers on the back straight. Please also listen for your bib number. If we have a neutralization, we'll show a yellow flag on the front straight. Let's roll neutral for a lap. Riders roll out.
All right, folks. The Missing Out getting started. So what's the idea here? The last rider across the line, every lap is eliminated. So how many riders we got here? Every one of them is basically a lap. We're going to work our way down to, I heard, 5 riders. Then there'll be a quick no-pull lap, and then we're going to sprint for top 5. So a long ways to get there. The way we keep these riders in, they cannot be the last rider across the line. As long as they're not the last rider, they're still in the race. Until that happens, as soon as they're that last wheel across the line, you're out. Fastest neutral lap you'll ever see. And the sound of the gun means we're underway. The Missing Out. John Duggan Masters Missing Out on its first lap. Now, this coming in from the photo finish crew between Kovalchuk and Hartman on that last race. The difference for the margin of victory there was 3 thousandths of a second to the finish line. That is a tight finish, and that's the kind of stuff we see here at track racing regularly. So right now, we're going to be watching the back wheel of this field. Who's the last rider across? Now, the last rider gets their bib number called, and they will exit the track on the lap that they're caught. 183, Peter Snoblin. Placings do work in the order as they're pulled as well, so we will place them as they are removed from the race. We're going to keep making this field smaller and smaller and smaller until it gets to 5. Then we're going to pause for just a moment, let them get 1 free lap around, and then the all-out sprint for 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and of course, 1st place in the Missing Out. That is Adam Leopold starting to shake his head a little bit. 192. So one of the things to watch here that I like to instruct folks to watch in the field itself is the shape of it as it moves. So as you watch them come in to turn 4, you'll see this kind of triangle shape as the outside will flatten out and get closer to us. That's because the riders in the back actually have some more room to maneuver, especially on the right-hand side. 144, Alex Huey. So now here in turn 2, you'll see they're a little bit flatter. There's more riders kind of try to hide in the gaps that they can find. When it's time to move, they have to go to the right along the rail and get some more mobility around the field. And that's why you'll see that group's shape almost every lap kind of collapse and move up over the right-hand side as riders are trying to accelerate and nip other riders out. If you're down that sprinter's lane, you don't really have anywhere to go. You just kind of have to hope that the field doesn't overtake you. 131. Ken Dong, 131. He almost got around that right side that we're talking about. Our thanks to John Duggan Cycling Attorney for sponsoring this year's Masters Missing Out. You can see their banner on the home straight. We can get their phone number. You can check them out online. John Duggan has been supporting cyclists in our area for years and has been a big backer of the Velodrome. We thank John Duggan Cycling Attorney. $197. 191 it is. Carl Pratis is aware. $180. So again, we're working down to 5. So you can imagine this is a fairly long race, longer than what we've been watching most of the rest of this evening. But this is really the beginning of that mass start events that we talk about, where these riders in large fields work their way onto the track. Now it's more of a pack mentality going on here. Enough riders in the group. There's this flow that happens in the group. Got to find your position. Where do you want to be in there? Maneuvering yourself in and out of all these riders, and especially benefiting from the draft of this large group. 182, Alex Siegel. Make some noise as they come by each and every lap. Encourage your favorite rider in the bunch. Chris Baker, 110. Baker, 110. Baker, 110. No pull lap, no pull. No pull. Baker is out. Chris Baker is out. Poor second effort here for Hugh, and that's going to be challenging. He started to feel like he might get eliminated, so he started to soft pedal a little bit. Now he's still in the race, but I think it's about to come to a close here. Once you're off that tempo, it's hard to get back on. Hunley here. The momentum of this large field, the amount of draft, if you're down along the rail, you might even get a chance to feel them as they come by. You'll get plenty of opportunities to feel that speed of the riders tonight, especially with our large groups. We've got some exciting scratch racing coming up. If you put some cash in that, the crowd preem pile as it was coming by in those buckets, we'll be giving that out during the scratch race. If you check your program, you'll see where that slots in. That's coming in a little bit. $125 down the sprinter's lane is Kit Colbert for Rafa. On deck, we do have the John Duggan missing out for the Elite Women. That will be our next group coming on out. The Elite Women's missing out is next. Now you see the sprint effort along the rail. Got to move quickly along the right side. Looking for room. $145 is Pekka Jaska. Pekka Jaska along the rail. Looked like Tim Johnson might have been out of the race when he was trying to go high and had nowhere to go. He swung quickly down to the left and barely found enough room to stick with it. One of our Calgary competitors there for the Cyclemeisters team. Got a couple of his buddies out there in the white kits, the white helmets. They stick out pretty well in our field. And that would be Tom Melsinski, bib number 156. $114, David Boxberger. 146. Johnson, Tim Johnson.
It's the most tremendous new musical
140 is Matt Haldeman. Haldeman, 140. One 160, Ludo Max. Our field's starting to whittle down here. You can a little more room out there now. It's 172 is caught that time. That's Ben Rackness running out of room. 172. I see 16 in our field. Working down to 5, so that should put 11 more to pull in the event. Looks like we do have a volunteer on the lap. One out of the group already. Yeah, there you go. EJ knows what to do. When you got the crowd, you might as well have some fun. Eric, when are you going to get serious? Don't ever do that. It's way more fun. Still working our way down to 5. Should be 10 more to pull out of our field here. Who's made it into the cream of the crop by the end of this thing? We'll see. And it looks like maybe our rider for the Velobody team there, 159. Matthews, 159. $111 is Mark Barrel for Synergy Racing. $13 in the group. We continue to get closer and closer to that inevitable conclusion. Whoa, big acceleration there. Starting to leave some people in the back a little bit off the pace. Good response, though. Good effort here to stay in. 119 is Jonathan Castrodale for Head and Speed Racing. Swinging out to the right, looking for some room along the rail. Joel Lentz making a nice move there. And this time out of the race is 186. Brett Walker, the rider in red, right down the middle. Didn't really have anywhere to go. He just tried to edge himself forward as best as he could. The outside took the space they had and left him behind. Getting down to it even closer. Now you'll start to see that even the front is going to have to start working to keep up with the pace of all these riders. It's going to become more and more about that action at the front and who gets left out of that sprint. That is Chip Chaze of the Liquid Velo team. 1-2-0. Lentz with another good move around the outside, that rider in all blue. 185. Chris Wagoner. Wagoner is out. 185. Warning to 185 for any sprinters lane. We're in a no pole this lap. 185 has been eliminated. 185 is Chris Wagoner. He's got it. Confirmed. That's why we don't show laps to go. Sometimes there's these little hiccups along the way. It's kind of a messy race to coordinate perfectly. So we're going to leave that flexibility in. Oh, the right side sweeping over. Leaving out Vern Cole. 122 down that sprinter's lane. Sitting nice and comfy. So here we go. It's getting down to it. And once again, Lentz, the specialist on the outside. Andy Baker doing the same thing. 139. Looking on the other side of him is Stephen Grandy. He did not have anybody behind him. He's waving. I says, yep, I am out. We have 2 riders to eliminate still in our field. There's 7 out there. We've worked our way down to 7 from that initial 30-plus competitors. 3 to go on our lap cards because we know we're almost there. Lentz is going to try to do it again around the outside. Our rider in yellow for Split Mango goes, there's no room. 154 is caught. We've got 1 left to pull before we get down to that top 5. Hans Lofelholz riding along the rail there. Number 6 in the overall standings will be pulled on this lap, the 6th place. Lentz has been doing this all night long. The rider for Apex Racing is just using that right side, accelerating and then resting, accelerating and resting. We'll see if he can do that again and who's going to be left out. They're really bunched up coming out of turn 4. 1 more to eliminate. Does Baker have enough room to get up there? He's trying to accelerate. Whoa! It will be 109. Baker, not quite enough on the right side. Oh, great acceleration. Just not enough time to get there. So now, this time around the track, we do not pull anybody. They're going to get the bell as they come across the line this time, letting them know it's 1 to go. Oh, what? Come on. They just got done with the elimination portion. You're supposed to catch your breath. Joel Lentz says, let's go some more. Here they come, folks. They're getting the 1 to go. They've worked all the way here. It's the John Duggan missing out. Kenny Williams now taking the front position. Henry Kaiser, one of our junior competitors in the midst. In the red, Carl Hofer for Crikey Sports is in there. Cyclemeister also still in the mix there in the second wheel spot. It's Kenny Williams in the lead position right now. They're kind of holding on and waiting for Kenny to move. He will now make his attack. The Ken Moore specialist here coming out of turn 4, one of our local strongmen and favorites here in UFDF. Can he hold out the charge here? The Calgary rider wants to ride him down. Oh, he'll take it. That's right. Williams will take it in the sprinter's lane. Nicely done. I think we're going to have those guys come back around one more time since that was a fantastic missing out race. How about it, folks? One more round of applause for our riders in the missing out, the great event. Giving some fist bumps between them because that was a great ride. Williams taking that 400-meter effort and showing how it's done.
Women's race to the rail.
The John Duggan women's missing out coming on up. You just saw missing out a moment ago. Now let's have our elite women take their own shot at it. Same rules apply. We'll let our officials team get them started in just a moment. Great chance to come join us in the Stanley Beverage Garden. The freebie pints might be all gone, but the beer, cider, and wine is still here. Come on and join us. Every purchase in the Beverage Garden must stay within the Beverage Garden, please. And all purchases made also support the Velodrome by putting cash right back into the nonprofit that runs us, the Marymoor Velodrome Association. Sun is just now starting to set in a beautiful evening here. You've been waiting for your chance to come grab some frozen treat, maybe a little ice cream bar. Come on over to the Issaquah Ice Cream Trike now and grab something refreshing for this evening. Don't forget, folks, we would love to see you again for more racing tomorrow evening. This incredibly rich group of competitors, athletes, the stories that we're building here, everything builds up to a fun conclusion tomorrow night. More of the same, but more different races. We'll see these guys coming back for even more great stuff tomorrow at 7 p.m. Same thing, $5 to the gate, beverage garden serving drinks. We got the food truck showing up. You'll have a great time, and you get to see these athletes on their second day in a row putting on these great athletic feats for all of us. So do not forget to come and support our riders tomorrow and have a great time. Once again, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, our final session for the 2019 Grand Prix.
We're going to ride a missing out down to 5. We're going to pull down to 5 and then have a no-pull lap with the bell. If we can't determine who is pulled in a lap, we'll show a green flag on the back straight. We'll also try to show you your bib number on the back straight. Know your bib number, please. If there's a neutralization, we'll show a yellow flag on the front straight. We'll start with a neutral lap. Roll out.
Off they go for the missing out. Again, last rider across the line, their last wheel. That's how riders get eliminated. So the goal is to not be last until the end, and then you can work on trying to be first. Do be reminded here that some riders we pay attention to like to ride at the back a lot. It's fun to watch those guys, the devils of this event, nipping away at the back, whoever's left dragging out. But it's also fun to kind of pay attention to who's at the front of the field. Sometimes that's going to mix up in the middle of the race too. Maybe change once one rider has tired from setting the pace. It can be pretty impressive to watch how many laps these lead riders will take at the front, considering that's a very consistent and difficult effort, and all the other riders just sitting and benefiting from it. '31 is Bryn Ward. 31. Same story in terms of the elimination. We're working down to 5, our elite women. That's number 22. 22. And will the right or the left side stay in another lap? Kira Lewis, number 21. And we'll see another rider this lap. That's 14. Julia Cushion. We are getting a whole pile of more Vision Bucks coming our way, so some free support and merchandise for our podiums today. A big thanks to our title sponsor, Vision, again, for hanging out with us all day and bringing our Olympic friend, Nelson Vales, to hang out with us in the Pacific Northwest. Make sure to stop by their tent today or tomorrow where you can pick up some of those Vision Bucks for yourself. Number 12 is Rebecca Book. Book. Whoa. Close there. It will be number 6. That's Fox. Luzanne Fox, number 6. Was watching between Alexander on the outside there, Emily Alexander, another kit in black and green, and she just got barely enough acceleration to catch at the line. That'll be number 10, Emily Alexander. Whoa. Wide across the track there, but it'll be number 2. That's Glover. Aaron Glover found there. '17, Christine de Ercole. Zoe Sacchio, number 28, caught there. I can hear Team Peloton making some noise. Hey, I was told earlier that our Peloton folks that are here joining us in supporting our racer, de Ercole, were largely responsible for a major amount of fundraising to support our Star Trek riders that are here this evening and throughout their year. That is pretty incredible. We saw the speed of our riders from that team earlier tonight in the Keirin, and we're going to see more of them soon. So that's a fairly impressive thing. Our thanks to our Peloton supporters that are here, our riders. that helped fundraise for the young riders of Star Trek. That's pretty incredible work by them. Number 15 caught there. 15 is Jessica Cutler. Working our way down to 5. Oh, kind of close there. Looking at the sprinter's lane, not moving, and it will be number 18, Lisa Erickson. For Holtley Law, presented by Peak Condition. I was just informed that we have a new cheer down here along the home straight. It says, "It's go fast." Just yell that real loud. That's not a bad strategy. Number 33, Jennifer Wilson. Of perhaps my other favorite team to say, Razzle Dazzle. I see 10 out there, I believe, which means we've got 5 more to eliminate. It's getting down there. And number 23, Kaya Littimore. Nine left here, 4 to eliminate. A little bit dangling here. Gets you get back into the midst of the field. Oh, a nice effort to go up around the right side. That's going to take a big dig here. Oh, is it going to be enough? Not quite. Number 26 is Emily McNary. Was on the way for Grown Rogue Cycling. Almost. Great effort nonetheless. 3 riders will get eliminated out of this group now, before we get to that no pull lap and race for the top 5. Getting pinched a little bit there down the left side is number 34, Sage Pauley. 2 more will get pulled from the group here before we have that no pull. So we will show 3 to go in anticipation. That's where we're at now. Whoa, again, looking at that sprinter's lane who's got no room. 30 is 19. I apologize. Number 19. There's too much chatter as we're making the call, guys. No pull on the lap. We are eliminating number 19, Jennifer Girth. Jennifer. Number 19 from the last lap, and that's a no pull lap. We are eliminating number 19, Girth. Jennifer coming out that time. 19. That elimination is for entering the sprinter's lane while occupied, to be clear. That is a rule on the track for entering the sprinter's lane while occupying. Another rider there. So that is the cause for the elimination. One last one to go here. That would be Kelly Donnelly, number 16. Seeing it come together there. She's watching the action in front of her. Down to the no pull. And we're down to it. That's our top 5. We have 1 to go. 1 to go. Hewitt Elspeth, the rider at the front in the blue. They're sitting up a little bit. She doesn't want to commit too much at this moment. So a slight reset here. This could be perfect for one of our sprinters. Look out for Taylor coming down the hill. She's going to be match side inside here, going through turns 3 and 4. Now we got 3 riders out the front, being led out here a little bit. Still tight down on that sprinter's lane. Who's going to find the lane around the right-hand side? Is it going to be the sprinter's lane right down the right-hand side here? Taylor Crane with a second effort. Taylor Crane will find it. Jennifer Sharp for Stages Cycling, the blue, led the lap so valiantly, almost held on all the way to the sprint. Wow. I thought we lost her there for a second, as it looked like our rider, Jennifer Sharp, had it all the way, and just at that last moment, Taylor found enough acceleration to finish the job. Get those hands out there, folks. It's fun. Let Taylor know you appreciate it. Nice ride tonight. Yes, Jennifer's waving. What a great effort that was. She is smiling because it's fun. Good to see you, Jennifer. Get you next time. She's like, oh man, I'm running out of steam here. All right. And we are about ready to pull up our next group. It looks like our track is clear. We've got the Elite Man Vision Tech 10-mile scratch coming up to the rail with Preems. I'll announce in just a moment.
These are some big boy Preems. He wants to run on the line, I think. Right there, yep.
That's right. We've got a 10-mile event. That's 40 laps on the track. Now, thanks to the generosity of those in attendance, we've got $150 in cash Preems that we're going to throw out 3 times to these guys. So I'm going to ring the bell 3 times from up here. Each one of them is going to be filled with $50 worth of cash for a rider to lead the lap. So 3 cash Preems. We also, thanks to the generosity of the crowd, are able to throw out, get this, $150 to win the crawl today. So that's pretty cool. Not a bad deal. One more Preem to toss in there that I forgot to mention. Of course, our friend Stanley throwing in a merch Preem as well. So I need to announce that as well. That's right, Stanley merchandise on one of the laps too. So 4 Preems that'll be announced all up here from the announcer stand.
Okay, we're going to have a 40-lap scratch race. The record is 20 minutes and a couple seconds. And there are several Preems during the race. We'll start neutral. Roll out.
When we use the terminology scratch race, we're referring to the rules that most simplified when it comes to racing on the track. We are going to be racing for the finish line for a predetermined number of laps. That's kind of all there is to it. We're starting at 40. We're going to work that thing down every time they come around until they're down to 1 to go, ring the bell, and then the race will be wrapping up just like that. The first rider across the line will be our winner. We're going to mix it up a little bit by throwing out this bunch of preems that we have to give our riders. The preems is just a lap prize. The riders don't get to know when they are. I have the fun of announcing when those happen and ringing the bell, letting the riders know that the next lap that prize will be up for grabs. I've got 3 cash preems and that 1 Stanley merch preem to give to the leaders on some laps. And the neutral is now all wrapped up. We are racing. With 40 laps in distance, a 10-mile effort, that's a pretty good distance on a track. So we're going to see a lot of different ways to ride this thing. This gives space for different types of tactics. When you've got all of these fit athletes out here with different styles of racing, when you get up to that 10-mile mark, you're going to really see riders go at the race in their own way. So sometimes it's to your benefit to try to launch an attack away, get away from the group, maybe get some distance between you and the rest of these riders, not have to sprint against so many other riders when it comes to the finish. But that can be pretty tough because that means you got to peel these riders off, and it's fast. That field is clicking along already. Yeah, you might want to have something like this for a while. You know, be in the middle of a quick field and then launch an attack. Maybe you're a specialist with sprinting out of the field. We definitely have those riders in our group. Maybe your move is you're just a straight-up power effort. You've got that time trial you can put in at 5-6 to go. There's a lot of different ways to open up in this race. Since the rules don't get in the way, it's really all up to the rider. What's their approach? What's their mentality? What's their philosophy? What's their advantage that they can bring to the ride? So early on, couple laps in, you're going to see this rotating formation. Depending on the speed of things and how many riders want to contend the very front of this peloton, you'll notice there's this single file formation where riders are sticking into a line to get into someone's draft, and at the back end, it's kind of bunched up. That's an intermediate speed from this field. Could you believe it that this is actually not at top cruising speed just yet? 37 to go. Another thing to watch for is just how long riders are going to stay on the front. Sometimes we get up to the front of the lineup and almost immediately pull out of the way. Well, what's that all about? Hey, why aren't you doing your fair share of the work, man? Well, in this case, they're trying to preserve the energy for when they think it's most appropriate. Some riders, when they get up to the front, realize that their advantage is setting the pace quick. They're trying to tire out the other riders. They estimate that their endurance, their ability to keep this kind of tempo, is going to wear out the other athletes in the group. Sometimes that's not your thing. The slower tempos and then quicker speeds and going back and forth might be what we're more about. It just depends on your build and your approach to racing. So if you get up to the front and you're like, no, that's not for me, pull out of the way, let someone else do the work. It means the whole field might slow down, which makes it easier for those sprinters. There's just those different approaches that are going to be happening out here on the track throughout these next several miles of racing. A couple more interesting facts about the place that we're racing here tonight. Our Velodrome, as you've heard a couple times, is 400 meters long. It's a big facility. Many tracks that are built nowadays are between the 250 and 333 range. If you've been watching any of the Olympic cycling that has gone on in the last number of years, you would have seen facilities of that size. Along with those smaller size tracks comes this even more aggressive banking in the corners. You may not believe it, but this is also a pretty gently banked velodrome, only really maxing out at about a 23-degree bank at its steepest point. 400 meters, just like the high school track used to run around, so you get a sense with a 10-mile event, roughly 4 laps to the mile at a 400-meter track. That's how we kind of translate that over to the 10-mile. And in this first couple of laps, we've seen this relatively calm situation where riders are taking their poles to the front, getting out of the way, and then allowing the next rider to take their turn at the front, keeping the pace pretty consistent. As soon as our rider for Liquid Velo, Chip Chazet, says, "Make some noise. I want a bell, darn it." See, half the time when I ring the bell when you're at the front, I get the head nod of no. And half the time when they're at the front, they want me to ring the bell. I don't know what people want. I can't keep up. See, they're thinking I'm going to put all these preems We're at the beginning, reward all of them for showing up. Nah, I don't think that's a good way to go. Actually, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I get to make that up in the moment. At 31 to go. A little bit of bunch there at the front. Riders were moving up to the front as they saw our rider from Liquid Velo move off the front. It started to get some riders a little bit excited. Now they bunch up. As soon as things get slow, this is where things start to come out of the group. So now we've got 4 or 5 riders starting to edge forward a little bit, and the fielders are starting to respond. You see that single file line edging away from the group now at 30 to go. Still no preems, but they've got some speed at the front now. Kovalchuk leading it out. There's that little window there, that small gap between the lead group of 5 and the rest of the riders. I think once Kovalchuk pulls up, that gap might close down as the rest of those chasing riders will match his speed. I got $50 to lead the lap. $50 to lead the lap from the crowd. $50 to lead this lap. Our first payout preem of the race. $50 to lead the lap. Jack Lindquist wants some cash tonight. Why not? Uh-oh. Star Trek is on the hunt. I got a belly to fill, man. Let's go get some cash. Lindquist is on the move. $50 to number 121. He's got a big lead here across the peloton. The rest of the group is pretty far back, but he's going to sit up and allow riders to recover. If you have a raffle ticket, we would request your presence for the drawing over by the tent. If you're able to make your way over there, now would be a perfect time to do that. If you've got a raffle from the Vision tent, make your way on over. And they would like to complete the drawing now before they pack up for the evening. Good time to stretch out your legs, maybe pick up one more treat or snack on your way back. And I got Stanley merchandise to lead the lap. Stanley throwing in a merch preem. Vacuum sealed Stanley merchandise to lead the lap. Riders hesitating a little bit here. The attack coming, maybe even from the rail. Now starting to move from every which direction. Josh Pro down in the sprinter's lane. He saw his teammate go for a preem. Why not? Now 3 riders starting to take the bait here. Who's going to really dig in deep for the Stanley goods? Hotly contested. Yeah, strong enough move there around the right-hand side. Emil Flett Brown will pick that merchandise preem up for himself. We do have a record for the 10 mile, which is a 20-minute race with, what is that? I believe a 0.04 of a second tacked onto that. We are right on pace for the record currently. You can read it, it's right. 2 riders off the front. That first rider, one of those riders to watch in your bio, Zach Kovalchuk. Looks like he's with Emil now, so those 2 riders pairing up as a team. Yeah, they're not in the same jerseys, so they can still ride together. This is to their benefit as they're going to try to work cooperatively. At 23 to go, they're trying to make a little bit of space for themselves. This will start to take a toll on this field, and you'll start to see the back end looking for places to hide as they're going to get stretched out in response. Now the front doing the work necessary, though, to start closing that gap down. Now what this might do is after enough of these attacks and recoveries, you might see this field begin to split into 2 as some riders just can't keep with it. That's one of the goals of these attacks, is to try to peel riders off and make the field a little smaller. If you can't hang, you can't hang. That's a good question to ask earlier rather than later. You might as well size down the competition a little bit if you're able to. So far, that tends to work out. Most of the riders have held on, right on in here and are back together after that quick attack dissipates. 21 to go. Steam Wilson's at the front. Bib number 190 in the blue pulls up to the right-hand side. He sees another opportunity to maybe dance around in front of this field as Brendan Hodgins wants to take a dive off the front of the group as well, forcing them to think about where he's headed. Hodgins on a solo effort here for corner 4 racing. 20 to go. Riders are looking around, seeing if anybody's willing to go catch our junior rider out the front here. Not willing to do too much yet. They want to make sure that he's for real before making any kind of commitment. He continues to push the pace. In fact, the pack sitting up a little bit here as they allow 2 riders out. This could be interesting. 19 to go. Hodges looking for a little bit of reinforcement. It's going to be Kovalchuk that makes the next move out. He says, I think this group's getting a little tired. Maybe I can go off the front now and pick up some much needed work. The next rider behind him, Emmett Culp, trying to keep up with the pace, now gets sworn by a chasing group and says, uh-oh. 2 riders, that's way more threatening than just 1, especially when you add in a rider like Kovalchuk who has a battery for days. Really forcing the response now, so a lot of riders starting to get a little bit closer at 18 to go. Kovalchuk and Hodgins both recognizing that is going to come to a close. Coming up after the Elite Men's Vision Tech 10-mile scratch race, we have the Marymoor Crawl. Open to one and all. Don't forget, the Marymoor Crawl is coming up next, and there is cash on the line to win that event. Another break attempt here. 2 riders pushing the pace off the front. The field has been pretty stubborn about letting anything go for too long. It's Robert Mayfield, the rider in the second position right now in that lead group, with Dylan Davies, the other rider paired up with him in the white. An impressive attack here off the front. It's maintained a couple laps here. Dylan, the rider in that white kit at the very front, bib number 128, Dylan Davies of the Langley Brown Racing Team. He's got with him one other rider, make that Rob Mayfield of Rise Above Cycling at 13 to go. My estimation here about, 4 laps they've been out there, starting to force riders to think about doing some work to try to catch back on. So now we're starting to see the front of this field really sending riders out and seeing if they can close down some distance. And now you'll see the front of the actual pack working and everybody else trying to match tempo. At some point, they got to go. And how about this? $50 to lead the lap. $50 to lead the lap. $50 to lead the lap. 12 to go and $50 to lead the lap. There's a little bit of room there still for the lead, too. They've been out there for a few laps. They've got the time to go get the $50. This might encourage them to stay away from the field a little longer. And Langley Brown will take it Number 128 is Dylan Davies. And that little bit of encouragement might be enough to help send these guys forward even more. And we're getting down to the end of this thing. The field has got to figure out a recipe here to get up there. They're seeing 10 to go. Mayfield, the rider in the second position. Right behind Davies. The crowd helping out the peloton a little bit more than the lead, too. It looks like they're a little bit more encouraged by that group. We'll see how this plays out, though. Find your rider. Currently about 2 seconds under record pace in our 10-mile event. So this is a quick race here. No question about it. And these two are finding room somehow to maneuver off the front still. 9 to go. They're still here. In fact, Dylan Davies looks back over his shoulder and says, man, I'm dropping my guy here. Is this just going to be me versus this entire field for the GP? I think it is. So now it's just Dylan Davies. It's kind of an all-in move. And at this point, he's just got to see what he can do with those legs of his. Help him out, folks. Start getting ready to make some noise. He's coming. Dylan Davies, are you kidding me? 8 to go. The distance is starting to open up. Look at all of the power behind him, and he's still holding on. Mayfield doing an impressive job here, not giving up yet. 8 to go. And the field may need to make some changes here pretty soon. Time to revisit the strategy before too long. We're almost 200 meters down on this guy. 150, we'll say. Oh, Dylan Davies, are you kidding me? 7 to go. Can you do this thing? How this race is going to play out. I don't want to do a pack premium necessarily. He already got a premium, so I can just do a pack premium here. This is a big move, folks. No rest. He's just in the zone. Go, go, go. The pack is kind of sitting wide here. Davies made the move at the right time. That $50 premium might be out even better than he thought. Time is really closing down on this field to do anything about where the leader is. They saw 6 to go. We're getting into the last mile of this race. Still Dylan Davies at the front. 5 to go, Dylan. 5 to go. How about this? $50 to lead the lap out of the pack. I got a pack premium, $50 to lead this lap. $50 for the pack to lead the lap. Reminder to our competitors that podiums do go 5 deep. If you're top 5 in your race, you are on a podium tonight. Dylan's got 4 to go. Nobody could catch this move off the front. So it looks like our preem going to the chaser here. Cam Fitzmaurice there for tag racing in the black and green. $50 richer. I thought he was close enough to that field. They might try to chase him down for the cash. But they left him out there, and he'll take it. Dylan's got 3 to go. Help him out, folks. He's gritting his teeth. This is an impressive effort. I'll be honest. I didn't think he would be here in this situation, but now that he is, I think it's pretty easy to get behind him. The question is how easy is it for this field to get right up behind him? They have a big gap to close. 2 chasers. Still got some ways to go. That's Emil trying to work his way back up there, the gray and the yellow. Come on here. Come on. Come on. 2 to go. Come on. 2 to go. He's almost there. Whoa. Look at this chase. They're trying to get up there. They're close. The pack just now coming across the line at 2 to go. Can they even get close to closing this gap down? Some of these riders are bold enough to think maybe they can. They're going to start ranching it up right now. This speed is only going to get faster and faster. It's basically a downhill derby race now. He's got the 1 to go. Coming around the corner. Here's the bell. Dylan Davies. 1 to go. The chase is coming. 1 to go, and here's our pack being led up by Zach Kovalchuk. Can they get up there in time? Look at the speed from the pack. Whoa, here they come. Down the back straight, it's still Dylan Davies. He's just off the front. Can he hold on? He's digging deep. He's spinning squares now. It's hurting. Here comes the chase. It's Kovalchuk leading it out. Turn 4. Can he hold on? Dylan Davies is going to take it. Zach Kovalchuk was coming in hot. Just couldn't quite make it up to Davies. Are you kidding? They couldn't catch him. Okay, folks, you ready for this? We have a new record on the 10-mile scratch, and it goes to our winner of the race, Dylan Davies. A sub 20-minute 10-mile is a record at our track. Langlois Brown Racing with Dylan Davies double dipping on the cash there, winning the race, and will take home the pride of taking a track record down and putting his name up. What a moment for us all here tonight. That was fun. Oh, man. There's more? Whoa. Okay, I got to recover. I need some. Is it honey? Is that what we need? Tea? Honey and tea? Is that the treatment for the throat? Okay, I need some of that. It is the Marymoor Crawl coming up next. We do have $150 on the line to win this thing. You're going to want to come along the rail. If you've got an extra buck or two in your pocket, we'll some of our locals will show you how to get it done. We're going to bring the crawl competitors up to corner 4 now if you're ready to do the crawl. Marymoor Crawl, corner 4, ready, set, go. Man, that was fun. We are going to see a lot of riders join us for one of our favorite novelty races. This doesn't really work towards any of the Omniums, but there is cash on the line, and it's, of course, a fan favorite. You get to see our riders moving in slow motion. We get to heckle them a little bit, too, as I see the wireless mic out there. I'm sure there's going to be some interviews from our riders in standstill. You get to really see the fixed gear mechanism at its finest here up close, as our riders are going to be applying a lot of back pressure to try to keep their bikes upright. The rules are simple. Don't cross the finish line until the bell rings. Oh yeah, and also you can't put your foot down, you can't lean on anybody, you can't exit the racing surface, you can't use the rail, another rider, you can't use any assistance to keep you upright, so you have to do it on your own power. You can't go backwards either. Don't leave the racing surface. All that stuff disqualifies you. And all that, you're waiting for a bell to ring. Once the bell rings, 1 to go. Run around that track, 1 fast time, come back around and see who our winner is. That is the crawl in a nutshell. We'll see. And yes, that time, I don't know how long it's going to be. In fact, very few people do. I see our bell ringer working out the math right now, carrying the 1. What's the most amount of chaos I can create with the time based on the number of competitors? All right,
Okay,
just
Doc.
about ready to start.
All right, this is the Marymoor Crawl. We're going to start from this corner. You need to let go of the rail once we start and not rub against up against the rail or other competitors somewhere under 4 minutes. Riders, can we clear the track, Dorothy?
We're not quite there yet. It looks like we got one more person. Looks like Dr. Rachel Kiddie riding up.
Race
People are
description
already
complete.
starting. I love it. They're getting a head
Wow.
start. We do have a lot of cash on the rail.
Wow.
There's a lot of cash. And roll off.
That's the beginning of the timer, the secret timer. We don't know what it is. So what's the strategy here? I think Chip Chazet's got a strategy. Gimme, 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 gimme. I want it all. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And now you just got to track stand the rest of it right up here. Oh, man. Oh, no, that's impressive. Grab the cash grab, and then right at the finish line. That's risky. I like it. Oh, man. Sticking the bills
Alexander.
between the teeth.
I
You
got
know where that
Alexander
money's
literally
been.
on the line up here. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I can't find any place to put the money.
In your mouth. Put the money in your mouth. Money in the mouth. Yeah, no. Who else we got up here close? We got some lady competitors. How are we doing up here? Oh, fucking awesome. Whoops. We got Jack up here. Zach. Oh, my God. We are lining this rail. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm pretty cracked, actually. I've been doing, I don't know if y'all saw. I've raced a couple times tonight.
Is that a technical term, Jack?
Cracked. Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, we got, look at this. Taking money from a baby. It's perfect.
What? Is that even legal? But they put their feet
Wait,
down
look
for
way
it.
back. Oh, we had a couple no-hand track stand. I saw Brennan Hodgins back there going no
Fancy.
hands.
You gonna try it again? He's trying to get
Way,
set up
way
for
in
it.
the back. We got to give him some love back there. The maroon. There he
Oh,
goes.
there it is. Fancy. Cirque du Soleil's not in town right now, dude. Man, there's a lot of riders still there. Don't showboat. Just get off when you're disqualified. Don't need to make a big deal about it. It happens.
We still got a couple juniors in here, too. This line is packed, though.
Yeah. Whew. You got to pick your line and go for it. Oh, starting to shrink down. Another lane has opened up. We're going to fill that lane quickly, I'm sure. Man. Adam Leopold getting right down to that sprinter's lane. He's in position. It's like, ring the bell, ring that bell, ring that bell, ring that bell. Our bell ringer's not even looking at the group. He's like, I don't want to be encouraged by any of them. I'm just going to keep focused on my job. Don't let any of the emotions play into this job.
Alexander's still just right at the line.
Very
That
impressive.
was a bold move.
Whoop. That.
Come on, Carl.
The foot's down.
Spetty start is out. Oh, don't hit anybody else. Ooh.
The bowling ball effect. There are a lot of riders still out here.
We got cash money for the top three. 150, 150. That's almost as much as like a normal
They've got that
race.
internal timer in their heads. I'm starting to see some of them creep up. They're like, this is the time. This is the time. This is my moment. Now, if I could throw a 50 at the rail ringer to ring it now, I would. Oh, Waterman's out. Oh, Leopold will say, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, that's a lot of work keeping that bike still.
They're all just eagle-eyeing Steve right now, saying, ring it, ring it, ring
Come
it,
on,
ring
man.
it, ring it, ring it.
Come on, man.
You can start the chant, ring that bell.
There we go. There's one to go. One to go.
One lap. People are all over.
Wow. That's a lot of riders making it into this race.
Can you relegate someone in a crawl?
I don't know. That's going to be Josh Pro for Star Trek at the front, trying to pick up the 150.
There we go.
The New Yorker's on his way. Here they go.
Oh, my God.
Oh, are you kidding? No question. That was a nail biter. Wow.
That was insane. And now there's even more racing. There's more racing to come.
Yes, there is. There's more racing. Fantastic. Great finish there for our crawl competitors. Very nicely done. Making it through the the double fist pump, taking the cash, feeling pretty good about that. Man, I thought Josh Pro had it the whole way. He's getting some high fives along the rail, our New Yorker, with an impressive ride there. Lead in the lap. Up next, the Stanley 8x5 points race for the Masters men and Cat 3 men. That is coming up onto the track now. Come on down.
Lap points race, sprints every 5. Can we clear the track, please? DBC, please clear the track. Dennis. Sprints every 5. We'll start neutral. Roll out.
Find all your favorite close-ups on dbcphoto.com. Thanks for clearing the track there, Dennis. Was that a good promo spot? Can I do the end of those videos on late night TV? I think I could try one of those spots one of these times. All right, very good. You heard a quick synopsis there of points racing. This is an 8x5 format. If you've seen points racing before, that's 8 sprints every 5 laps. If you're new to points racing, the way this works is on certain laps, we're going to ring the bell that lets them know on the next time around, the riders across the line at the front of the field will get a certain number of points. Those points are determined thusly. First rider across the line gets 5, second rider gets 3 points, third rider gets 2, and the fourth rider gets 1. That's 5, 3, 2, 1 to the leaders on those special laps. At the end of it all, we're going to add up the number of points the riders have gotten. The most points is the winner. Any ties are broken by the sprint on the final lap. So if you're tied with somebody else but you finish in front of them, that is the primary tiebreaker. With 8 sprints happening every 5 laps, our first bell will be at 36 to go. If you want to watch the qualifiers for some of the racing that'll be going on tomorrow evening, we are going to race tomorrow at noon. Session 4 of the Grand Prix kicks off at noon tomorrow. Not our main event, we'll say. The main event we'd like to invite you to come back for is another edition of the 7 p.m. evening racing. You'll see a lot of the same kind of action, but it's going to kind of flip-flop. The riders are going to do kind of an opposite schedule to what you saw today. So a nice mixed bag of goodies for all the competitors that show up both nights, as well as our spectators. Saying 38 to go as they come across the line that time. Bell in 2 laps. The tricky thing here with the points race is the math. Not only do you have to work on the speed, the endurance, the recovery, the tactics, you also just got to keep track of your points totals. Luckily, they got me to help them out a little bit. I will be sure to announce what I have as their points totals as we go through the race so we can all keep track of what's going on out there. Oftentimes this first sprint, the laps before are fairly neutral like you're seeing here. It's not until we get close to that first bell that the ride starts to really pick up its pace. The Stanley points race now getting its first bell. Points next lap for the Masters men and the Cat 3 men. That looks to be Ben Rackness of the Jerry Baker Jr. team taking this first attack. And he's opened up a big gap here. He's trying to really ensure 5 points go his way on this very first sprint. Our early leaders in the race with 5 points is Ben Rackness. In second place, Chris Wagner with 3. In third with 2 is Willie Gonzalez. And with 1 in fourth is Jonathan Castrodale. .33 to go. Our early points getter, that big attack from Rackness. He's fallen himself right back into the pack. He's got the white helmet on, and he finds himself near the front of the group now. So an impressive effort from one of our junior riders to get that early leads started off right, but there's a lot of sprints left to go and plenty of laps. It's another 40-mile event, so a 10-mile overall. But with the points race, obviously the complexity gets a lot higher. We add all these rules. There's a lot more strategy and tactics that go into the thought process here. Which sprints do you go for? You got to time your movements just right. It allows for you to go early and pick up points or try to save it for the end. The biggest thing about that final sprint is that we do double the points. So 5, 3, 2, and 1 on all of those first sprints. The last one is worth 10, 6, 4, and 2, and it's the tiebreaker. So if you end up with the same number of points after that big final sprint, you will break your position tie based on how you come across the line. So that's important to remember. It's also important to remember that double points, because that can oftentimes have a big impact on the outcome. 31 to go. We have our second bell. Not important just yet because our group's all together. It also is worth remembering that if riders get lapped by the field, they lose 20 points. If you lap the field, you go all the way around the track and catch the field again, you gain 20 points. That's how we track laps, essentially, out here in the points race. A lot of riders this time fighting for the points. It's not going to be just one junior off the front encouraging the rest. And it looks like that's going to be Wagner coming out of the group, I believe. So Wagner will be our new leader at 8 points now after picking up the 5 in that sprint and 3 in the first. My unofficial points counts now, again, unofficial, as I'll try to do my best to stay on track. Chris Wagner is our leader with 8. In second place with 5 is Ben Rackness. In third, tied for 3 points each, is Willie Gonzalez and Chris Baker. After that, we got 2 points for Hans Lofelholz and 1 for Jonathan Castrodale. 2 riders off the front. In the black and green is Chip Chase. Baker in the black and yellow. Sing 27 to go. We're going to get another sprint real quick. They start feeling faster as the race goes on. It seems like there's less rest in between and the action just kind of picks up as we move through it. Chris Baker just a little bit off the front here, trying to find his first points of the race. Our time trial Masters champion there, Chris Baker for Corner 4 Racing. Leading out the lap at 26 to go. See a lot of folks taking off for the evening. It is getting late. We know the racing goes along. We thank you for joining us. We hope you might be able to make it down for tomorrow night. We had fantastic turnout today, an incredible showing of our local supporters. We hope you can continue to hang out as the beverage garden is still open and the food trucks are ready to help us out for a few more servings tonight. Williams trying to find his first points. Looks like it'll go to Wagoner for the 3. I want to say 2 points for Rackness. The only confirmation I'm awaiting on is for the single point, the 4th rider across the line. Otherwise, I have Chris Wagner still as our leader with 11 points. In second place with 7 is Ben Rackness. In third, Kenny Williams with 5. And that would be Brett Walker picking up the 1 point there. So he's added a point to his totals now. So as announced, our points are as close to official as they can be at this stage in the race. 22 to go. We get a bell next lap. By the time I get my head out of the numbers, we're sprinting again. Starting it a little early is Kaiser for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. He's got a couple riders that decided that this isn't such a bad idea, but it looks like the rest of the field is already in the hunt. That distance closing down awfully quick. Coming into another sprint. 21 to go. Our halfway point, and another sprint coming up. Williams at the front of the field, trying to find 5 again. Oh, Baker for 3. I think that's going to be Gonzalez for 2. I think that's Joel Lentz for the Apex Racing team finding 1. Getting closer at the top of this race now as Chris Wagner was dominating the early sprints and participating in all of them. He didn't get any points on that one. He's now still at 11, giving Kenny Williams a chance to crawl up on him. Kenny Williams now with 10 in second place. After that, I have in third with 7 is Ben Rackness. In fourth with 6 is Andy Baker. And following that will be Gonzalez with 5, Lofelholz with 2, Lentz with 1, as well as Walker and Castrodale still with their 1. And the points are confirmed as accurate. A little bit more time here to kind of see what's happening in our field. It looks like we're still keeping it all relatively well together. As we get into those bell laps, you'll see the front get a little bit more anxious. Now, here's a different way to go about it. Chip Chasse's favorite move, off the front. When there's a window to go, he will go. We'll see what he'll do with it here as the field Never too happy to see him getting away. 17 to go. Another sprint, 16 to go. Our race leader, Chris Wagoner, is sitting mid and high in the field with a bright neon kit. Doesn't look like he's going to be pushing for this sprint just yet. The up-and-comer, I shouldn't really call him that. He's a very consistent performer, but he's finding his way up here in the points now. It's Kenny Williams who's finding his way into second place. Now, just as we're talking about it, here comes Wagoner moving up to the front. Rackness is late in the sprint, though, trying to find the 5. Joel Lentz will match the tempo of getting 3. Wagoner for 2. Gonzalez 1. My unofficial points totals are 13 points for Chris Wagner. Still our leader after that last sprint. He just did enough to stay there. Ben Rackness now slots into second with 12. In third is Kenny Williams with 10. After that, I have a tie for fourth between Gonzalez and Baker, both at 6 points. Joel Lentz is 4. Hans Olfahos has 2. Castrodale's got 1 point, and Brett Walker still with 1. $13 to go. That means we got 3 sprints left, including the all-important double down last effort. One of our leaders in points there, the Kenny Williams there, pulling out of the way. Sounds like our points are on track still, so as announced, we are still keeping it close. 12 to go, another lap before we hear that bell. The race to the top is pretty interesting here, as Chris Wagoner made it fast at the beginning. He took a few laps in the middle of the field. He came back into the race just on that last sprint. He's the rider in the bright neon kit. He's riding for the Therapeutic Associates Pacific team. Mid-pack right now. In second place with 12 is our Jerry Baker Jr.'s rider, Ben Rackness, with the white helmet and the black and blue kit. He's also floating more mid-back area right now. As the bell's ringing, he'll try to reposition himself more towards the front. Nice attack here through the back straight and opening up a bit of a window. And we're going to see some new points coming out here at 10 to go for Mike Rogers, finding 5. Wagner will find 3 more. Gonzalez for 2. And I think it's Mark Barrow for Synergy, picking up the 1. Our current race leader, Chris Wagner, just continues to find a way to get value in almost every sprint. Hasn't won a whole lot of them, but he keeps getting those 3-pointers in there, and it's adding up. He now has a points total of 16 in first place. Chasing him, the next closest rider will still be Ben Rackness with 12, followed by Kenny Williams with 10. I now have Willie Gonzalez moving into 4th with 8. 6 still for Baker, and 5 now for Mike Rogers after that last sprint. Other points remain unchanged. 2 sprints left in the Stanley Masters points race. Seven to go. Bell next lap. Bell's ringing, 6 to go. Henry's launched an attack here through the turn and brings with him Kenny Williams, quickly responding to the junior's move. Baker, low full holes, all starting to ramp things up, and look at our current leader in the race. Wagner still says, I want to be in on this sprint too. Williams coming out of the turn at the front. He still has some work to do. It looks like he's on his way for 5. Baker 3, low full holes 2. Wagner 1. One more sprint left. Double the points before that final sprint. Here's how I have the points totals unofficially. Chris Wagner with 17 is only 2 points up on Kenny Williams with 15 in second place. Ben Ragnes in third still with 12. Next closest is Andy Baker with 9. Willie Gonzalez with 8. After that, I have Rogers 5, Joel Lentz 4. Hans Lovelholz now also at 4 points. Castrodale still with 1, as well as Mark Barrow. Brett Walker also with 1. Thank you. Points are accurate to our official standings at 3 to go. Two to go. One sprint left here in our 40-lap endurance sprint mixture of the points race. Current race leader is in the back half of that field. He's almost at the tail end of it. But the bell's not ringing yet, and he knows it, so he just has to reposition himself before the sprint. I've seen him do it quite a few times, actually. He finds that right lane and just moves down the field when it's time to go. We'll see if he can do that again all the way from downtown as they're coming in through turn 4. It is the final lap. 1 to go. 1 to go. The Stanley Masters points race. 1 to go. Our leader still out of this sprint. If our second place rider can get some points, they might suddenly become the winner of this race. And I'm looking right at him. He's in second wheel. It's Kenny Williams, and he knows it's his time to be here. Ragnar is trying to get in as well. The rider currently in third place. If he can get some points, he might be able to create some chaos. But it looks like Kenny Williams coming out of the turn just has to get some points in this one to be able to lock down the victory. Williams digs it deep enough to find 10 and will be the winner in the points race unofficially. Woo. Rider's still on track. And here they come one more time around. Kenny's gonna hold up his hand here saying thank you for sticking around tonight for the Masters points race. Nicely done. Smartly ridden race. Willie's signaling for some help there. I know what that one means. And now the Cat C. Clark Women's Elite Points Race. Thanks to the Office of Cat C. Clark for sponsoring today's, not only this race today, but also the track records. There were quite a few today, too, as we've got quite the group of talented, strong, hardworking riders joining us this weekend. This is a 50-lap endurance specialty 10x5 points race.
$50-lap points race. We're going to have sprints every 5. We'll start neutral. Roll out.
Same rules apply as the last field, just a different group of riders, but 50 laps. Let's tag on 2 more and 2 more sprints.
I called you tonight. I've been thinking this for too long.
And the race is underway. The Cousin C. Clark Women's Elite Points Race, 50 to go. First bell at 46 in this 10x5 event.
I'm sitting all alone in my room. You're stuck so hard in my head.
We're going to need Amar to check in at the official stand here soon. If Amara could come to the official stand, that would be appreciated. Our first sprint a couple laps out here. We're still at 49 to go. The first bell at 46. Hewitt Elspeth for the Silverline Racing team. Riding for presented by I Am, I Can, I Will, I Do. Teammate to one other rider on that team is Christine de Calais, riding together out there on our track this evening. .47 to go on the race. Bells ringing. Our first points now going out for the elite women. See who our early leaders are. Good sprint for 5.
If I'm still in your heart.
And that'll be Hewitt Elspeth, the rider at the front in the blue for 5 points there. Zoe Sacchio in the gray kit found her way up there for 3. And I have Lucy Phidias getting 2. The 1 point will go out to Emily McNary. So that order as they come across the line is also the order they in the placings currently. Everybody else looking for their first points. Jennifer Sharp on the move in that blue and black.
But you try something new. I'll rip your face off. 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 I'll rip your face off. 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 I'll rip your face off.
In between laps here, our field being fairly neutral. As I know that this is a long race, so we're kind of in semi-conservative mode between the sprints, at least early on. That may change the closer we get to the end, but we know we're still looking at 42 laps. Our traditional long-distance sprint or scratch race is a 10-mile. We're not even to that mark yet. So riders playing it smart here. They're holding on for what is indefinitely certainly a very long distance event. Here at the beginning as a 50-lap 10x5. Our early leader, Elspeth Hewitt, for the Silver Line Racing presented by I Am, I Can, I Will, I Do, is looking maybe on the second sprint to try to stay ahead of it. At 41 to go, we'll be getting a bell. And off we go. Lisa Erickson there at the front, the rider in the gray and blue, now on the move. Trying out that 400-meter effort. It's a long ways around our track. Sometimes that is the hard way to go. Still holding on, Erickson at the front. She will be overtaken as they get to the line. Glover wants 5. I think it might be Taylor Crane, unsure between the two of them. Right as the sprint finishes, time for the solo attack. Nice timing here as the field will sit up a little bit and try to recover a little bit from the excitement of the sprint a moment ago. Razzle Dazzle Racing off the front with Jennifer Wilson.
I'll rip your face off.
So after that last sprint, I have a tie in the lead between Hewitt and Crane with 5 apiece. In third is Phidias with 4. Both Glover and Sacchio have 3 points. McNary and Pauly have 1. So mostly different riders in the 2 sprints. That means there's a lot of ties in the field. Right, so if you have one group get 4 riders get those points, and then another group of 4 get the next points, we're going to have a bunch of ties that need to get broken up. So that's kind of where we are right now. Mostly saw that happen. At 37 to go, though, it's still razzle dazzle off the front as Jennifer Wilson sensed some weakness in her competitors as they were getting done with that sprint. She said, "This is my chance to get away from the group for a little bit and guarantee at least a 5-point cash in, maybe more, depending on how far away she can ride from this thing." She now has a good-sized gap here. plenty of room for her to work with. Even if she kind of pulls off the pace a little bit, that pack has got some work to do. .36 to go. Wilson, points next time, pretty much guaranteeing herself 5 at this rate. The chasing pack going to be sprinting for 3, 2, and 1. Wilson without any points yet, so this will be her first go at it. We'll see if one of our riders that currently has points can double down for the first time and maybe start ticking away on their totals here. So I'm going to go ahead and tick off Wilson for getting the 5 here on my sheet. Looks like she's well on pace to do that. 35 to go. It's still rolling away from this field. The sprint for 3. It'll be Keirin. Derek Olay. And the 1-pointer will go to Phidias. I have a quick announcement here from our friend Nelson Vales again. I'm going to hand in the mic for just a sec here.
Hey, everyone here. I just want to say thank you for having me out here. I'm off on an Iowa Ragbri vacation tomorrow. If any of you know what that is, you get to ride your bike in the middle of the street for many hours throughout the day and watch your diet and drink plenty of beers and have a good time. But I'm looking for someone with an SUV that is heading direction SeaTac Airport, because I got me and my Sakan bike bag that need to head out to the airport this evening. So if anyone out there got a little room in their truck to give me a ride back, I would rather sit and ride with you guys than take an Uber. So thanks very much, guys.
Thank you, Nelson. Appreciate being here tonight. It was a treat. I think I got one over here. You should come down and chat with, but yeah, right there in the middle. There he is. Very good. Chip Chase, he'll help you out. Hey, it's Taylor Keirin, I think, in the lead of the race right now with 8 points. I got Phidias and Wilson in a tie Phidias, Hewitt, and Wilson in a tie with 5 apiece. After that, I have Satchio and Glover with 3, Derek Olay with 2, McNary and Pauly with 1. .32 to go. Satchio in the gray of the Crit Nasty team is trying to get away from this group now. She said, hey, you know, that Jennifer Wilson, that was a pretty smart move. I'll see if I can do it too. Right now, there's not a very big difference between first and last place in this race. There's not a huge gap to climb and still plenty of sprints to go for. So find a moment, go and go for it. That's exactly what Satchio's doing now. 5 points next time around if you can stay here to the leader. Good move here by Lucy Phidias to try to chase her down. That's the Team Slumber Party rider out in the bridging space between the leader and the rest of the pack. Satchio coming in for 5. Phidias for 3. Sharp 2 and Keirin 1. And unofficially, our leader is now Taylor Keirin with 9. Make it a tie for second between Phidias and Satchio with 8 apiece. 5 points for Hewitt and Wilson. I think currently that would put them at a tie for 4th place. Followed by Glover with 3, Derek Olay with 2, McNary and Pauly 1. And that is on track with what our officials have scored. 4 riders pushing right off the front. Not a huge gap open for them, but there's 4 of them. They could start to try to put a little bit more pressure on the pedals, but it looks like they're not totally committed to the mission just yet. The pack certainly is. They're starting to catch up onto it. 28 to go. Yeah, Cutler starting to move it along a little bit more there. Our rider in the all black, number 15. In our race leader right now, Crane with 9 points, excuse me, 9. The 2 riders in second are both with 8. And there's another bell. We got points next time around. Points next lap. At 26 to go. Our race leader doing a nice job here of finding where the sprint's going and getting a good lane. She's maneuvering towards the front. The rider in the black with the silver helmet coming around the right side is our current leader in the points, and she looks like she's going to find 5 more. Jen Sharp holding on for 3. Phidias will grab the 2 points. Hewitt for 1. My unofficial points are as follows. 14 points to our leader, Taylor Crane. In second place with 10 is Lucy Phidias. In third with 8 is Zoe Saccio. In fourth with 6, Elspeth Hewitt. After that, I've got Jen Sharp with 5, Jen Wilson with 5, Derek Olay with 2, and Paulie with 1. Aaron Glover also with 3 points. At 22 to go, let's get this effort started early. I think that's Lisa Erickson once again trying to get off ahead of the sprint. Try to get up to speed before the rest of the crew is. Up next, we do have the Vi-13 Madison for our elite men. 16 by 5 for the Madison coming up here soon. Bell's ringing. It is Erickson off the front. Sharp at the front of the field in that blue jersey. Makes room for Derek Olay, who now takes the front position also in blue. Oh, Erickson, I think, is going to hold on for 5, but boy, the pack is charging quick. They're coming fast, and she does a good job holding the speed here. Glover, oh! Glover for 3, Taylor Crane for 2. And I think Hewitt gets one there. In the lead, I have Taylor Crane with 16 points. In second place, I have Lucy Phidias with 10. After that, we have Zoe Saccio at 8. Elspeth Hewitt and Aaron Glover both with 6. Erickson 5. Sharp 5. Wilson 5. Derrick 2. Pauly 1.
As I bleed for you, cry for you, oh, oh. Let me bleed.
16 to go, and they're still sprinting. There goes another bell. Cutler leading the lap. Derrick Olay on her wheel. Digging deep here is Taylor Crane trying to get back up onto the tempo of the front two. Looks like she's on pace to do so. It's still Cutler at the front. Now Crane sweeping in. Phidias challenging. Might have got there.
All of the pain seems to follow like a shadow dark and cold to the touch.
Awaiting confirmation on the finish order.
Am I insane not to let go? Oh, go on, just do what you do. And it hurts. As I bleed for you, cry for you, oh, oh. Let me bleed.
After that, I have Taylor Crane as our leader with 19 points. Unofficially. In second place is Lucy Phidias with 15. That's bib number 9 for the Team Slumber Party. Zoe Saccio with 8. Following that, I've got Hewitt and Glover both with 6. Sharp and Wilson and Erickson with 5. Cutler with 2. McNary and Pauly 1. Reminder that we are doing all podiums following the Madison, as posted in the schedule. Also, a reminder that beyond the podiums at the end of this event that if you are a top 5 finisher, you will be on those podiums. So please plan to be around for those. Pick up your prizes, your merchandise, and of course the great photo ops that we'll have here on our podium at the track. Podiums to follow the Madison for all of our events from tonight's racing. At 10 to go, Aaron Glover, 5 points. Crane 3. I think it's Sharp for 2. And Phidias 1. Taylor Crane still in the lead, 22 points for the Lake Washington Velo competitor. Bib number 1, keep your eyes on her. Lucy Phidias in second. I've got her for 16 points. After that, Glover with 11, sitting in third. So those are our top 3. Glover is bib number 2. She's moved her way up right into these top 3 after picking up 5 points there. Rating in that purple jersey midfield. After that, I got Satya with 8, Sharp with 7, Hewitt with 7. Erickson 5, Wilson 5. Other points remain unchanged. Bell ringing. Points on the lap. That'll be Sacho coming out of the field for 5. Sacho now moves up to 13 points unofficially. Good enough for third if the race were to end right now. A couple riders getting in on the fun for the first time tonight. Micaiah Bessler getting some points in there. Now is 2. Bryn Ward also finding her first points tonight. She'll have 1. Glover also with points in there. She's actually in a tie with Saccio for third. They're both at 13 points. That's how I have it. We need rider number 119 from the Masters field. #119 over to the stand, please, from the Masters field. Bib 119. We need to check into the officials. Thank you. Just about wrapped up here in Catherine C. Clark Women's Elite Points Race. A few laps remain, and they know it's worth double the points. And we've got a lot of situations that are actually fairly close. Our leader at 22 is Taylor Crane. She's got a 7-point advantage over Lucy Phidias, sitting with 16. He's got a 6-point advantage. Glover and Saccio I have at a 13-point tie for third. So the top is pretty tight here. Next up, we've got some riders right around that 6-7 mark. Sharp with 6 or 7. Hewitt with 6. Erickson with 5. Wilson with 5. 1 to go. Sage Polly off the front, as is Jennifer Wilson, one of our early attackers in the race. Sage Polly knows that this lap is worth 10. Might as well go in with a big effort here to try to close out the race. The rider in the white and red has several bike lengths right now in front of anybody else. If she picks up 10, this will be very big for her. She's at just 1 point currently, so this will be a big upgrade. Rider's coming. Oh, no, she couldn't quite get the 10. I think the 10's going to go to Phidias. 6 points to Crane, and I think it'll be 4 points for Sage Polly. And a quick parade lap. That was a long effort there from our elite women competitors. How about one more round of applause for their 50-lapper, the 10x5. Unofficially, I got Taylor Crane coming out on top of that one. Nicely done. And a good competition for our women tonight. Now for the big long one, the 80-lapper, the 16x5. Madison is coming on to the track. We've got a big exodus here, so I assume probably good advice to wait on one side or the other while we get some riders out from the infield. Coming onto the track here in just a moment, it is the VI 13 Elite Men Madison. Plenty of teams registered for racing tonight. Our final event here of our third session. Podiums to follow. I have 13 teams on my start list here. This will be an exciting number of riders into Madison.
All right, riders, come on to the rail. We do have a little bit of an announcement. I am shortening the race, and the reason for that is that I'm going to get noise complaints from the city of Redmond here very, very shortly. So we're doing a 12x5, and I was just informed that 60 is the minimum distance for UCI, so I'm not doing anything super crazy. So it is a 12x5 for a couple of reasons, but I could get the cops called on us at 11. So just FYI, we're doing a 12x5.
Can teams please group together? 13 teams on the line. Relief riders, please roll to the back. Relief riders, roll to the back straight. And relief riders, please take the rail until we start. Yeah, so did one team send 2 riders? We have 13 teams, right? Okay, yes, we have 13 teams. Sprints every 5. Okay, racing riders will start neutral. Roll out.
And off we go. This is a team event. The teams are only 2 riders, but they exchange throughout the event. So one rider is in the event, the other is the relief rider along the rail. That way they can combine their efforts together. Allows the riders a moment to rest, especially on our track. There's an opportunity to really come down to a really slow pace in between your efforts. Teams will be scored together. The scoring works just like a points race, but the efforts are being done cooperatively. So we'll give out scores for the team's colors as best we can. We'll start the riders that begin in the race with the sound of the gun. The riders along the rail on the back straight are the relief riders. They will be brought in through a hand exchange. So they'll hold hands briefly and get tossed in by their partner to exchange their momentum from one rider to the next. The Madison named thanks to the racing in Madison Square Gardens, where to try to work around the New York state laws that restricted riders from racing for more than a certain amount of time at once to try to sort of get some control over the multi-6-day race events that were going on, these very lucrative kind of betting events that were all focused around these incredibly long endurance rides for riders out there. They decided, well, if you can't have one rider ride for that length, why don't we make it a team of 2 and they'll just take turns. And by the end, it'll be a 6-day total. Now, that's still pretty crazy, but it worked out pretty well for them for a while. Then eventually evolved in this idea that this is just a fun format. Teams of 2 tossing each other in to share the work, and that's how this thing is run. Now we're doing it as a points race, so we'll keep track of points to the teams as they come across on those bell laps. Brett Walker is in the red of Audi Racing. That's bib number 1, and his partner is Carl Hofer. They're at the front of this field right now. In the middle of the back straight, you'll see the red team doing an exchange opposite us right now. Looks like we have a couple relief riders coming in that may be doing an exchange right in front of our beverage garden here on the home straight, so we can get a good look at what that looks like on the home portion of the track. You'll see them swing down into that space. Riders that are not getting tossed in are supposed to go up and around those exchanges. So you ride high if you are not exchanging, go around that. Allow the lower portion of the track for the riders that are making the exchange. Points next lap. Team 9 in the purple, the Chamois Butter team, is in the lead position. Zach Kovalchuk and Dylan Davies partnering up on Team Purple. An exchange very late in the sprint. Still enough room for Kovalchuk to get the 5 points. The Chamois Butter team, the all-purple kit there of Davies and Kovalchuk as our leaders with 5 points. Fitzmaurice and Flett Brown. The KW Racing dark blue jersey in second with 3. With 2 points, Lockmiller and Hodgins pairing up. You can find them in the green-white checkered jersey for the Lake Hills team. That's going to be bib number 14 on their jerseys. And finally, in fourth place with 1 point, Adam Engert and Tak Makino. They're riding in the colors of Broadmark, the yellow jersey team. Positioning right now on the field, everybody who's behind the purple team is in the chase, trying to get back up to where they are. As Dylan Davies is on an impressive roll here. We saw him do this to the entire elite men's field earlier in the scratch race. How are you supposed to catch this guy? I don't know. They're doing a very nice job of it here early on at 52 to go. Our junior team of Hodgins and Lockmiller working together to keep him in check. Bells ringing for our purple team coming into the home straight. 51 to go. Kovalchuk, he's got Lockmiller right behind him. The yellow team also right in the mix. It looks like we might have a couple groups getting caught by the leaders. Kovalchuk for 5 for the purple team. They got the yellow and blue getting 3, the checkerboard team getting 2, and the all yellow getting 1. Teams number 5, Vern Cole and Eric Waterman. 34, Rogers and Haldeman, and 8, Olson and Richard are officially down the lap. So the finishing order is doubled down there, as it'll be the same order as the first sprint, meaning we have Team Purple in the lead with 10. The dark blue of Team 11, Flett Brown and Fitzmaurice with 6. Make that the light blue and the yellow kind of offset color there. Number 11 at the front of that group of 4, just now coming into turn 1. That's the front of the race. They're in second with 6. The checkerboard, white and green, a junior pairing with 4 points in third. Adam Engert and Tak Makino riding in the yellows. Broadmark are in fourth with 2. Everybody else without points or down a lap. Another bell. This is what happens to the mass, and it can get a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. The leader on the lap is the purple team right now. So anybody who's not with them is somewhere behind and chasing. The sprint is on, and Kovalchuk will toss in Davies to be back at the front of this thing, and the attack is on. A nice recovery here from Hodgins for the juniors. He's able to cover that quick sprint during the exchange. Davies 5, Hodgins 3 for his team. front of the race here at 42 to go. Coming across the line, we've got this group of 5 in there, 4 on the lead lap. So the lead rider is getting the bell there. Good God. Kovalchuk for 5. The blue and yellow team there picking up 3. Checkerboard for 2, and the gray team will get 1, although they're down the lap. My mistake. The gray team of Harbison and Culp not down the lap. My apologies. So our lead group of 4 teams still working together right under the Greg Cycle team logo over there in turn 2. Catching a couple more teams there as they continue to be the front edge of the race. And our leader's getting the bell. Another exchange right in the middle of that sprint. No room lost. They've worked this one out pretty well. Purple picking up another 5. They've been dominating this race, but they are being matched very well by a couple of these teams that have been able to manage the constant pressure being applied by the Chamois Butter purple team. Our blue and yellow team in second place, keeping right on the wheel there. The gray and checkerboard squads are in the chase now. A little bit off the pace at 34 to go. Yellow and blue combining with purple are the front of the race. A nice recovery effort to bridge back up by the checkerboard team. I currently have our leaders, Team 9, the purple team with 25. After that, it's 14 points for the yellow and blue, 10 points for the checkerboard, white and green. 2 points to both the gray and team of Harbison and Culp. Makino and Angrit's the yellow team with 2 points. I've got 1 for Batista and Cowley's team of number 12, and team 1 with 1 point of Hofer and Walker. One to go, and a couple more riders being caught by our leaders. Which I believe leaves only 4 teams on the lead lap as these riders are getting caught.
All teams.
So all those teams going down as they're getting caught there. So they became eligible. They lost the 20 points, but remember to compete for points. So red goes down 20, but immediately gains back 5. .12 also going down to lap team number 12. As they go down the lap, they also got 3 points in the sprint. Our leaders, Team Purple, Kovalchik, and Davies, have lapped all of the riders out here, along with a couple other teams that are with them. They're at 26 points. Chasing them, the next closest team is going to be the pairing of Miflet Brown and Cam Fitzmaurice, now with 16 points. I have 10 points for Hodgins and Lockmiller. That's team number 14, the white and green checkerboard. And I have team 6 of Makino and Angert, team 3, Harbison and Culp, the gray team, with 2 sitting in 4th. And incoming another bell, 26 to go. So this field has kind of joined itself back up again. The teams that are on the lead lap, though, that have not lost a lap at any point, Team Purple coming flying in here, trying to find the 5. Team Blue and Yellow also there. They're our second place team currently in the points. The checkerboard team was trying to get the 5, not able to find it. They'll get 3. Team Green will get 2, and Team Red gets 1. Our leader's now at 31 points, and it's still second place to the yellow and blue with 16, and in third place now our checkerboard, white and green at 13. .23 to go, and the leader has begun to open up a bit of a gap here. Our Sportworks gray team is trying to close the gap down with a couple of other teams right there with them. It's the riders that are on the same lap as the leaders is that group of 3 right behind them. The red team is down a lap, but they're chasing to try and stick with this second attack coming out from Team Purple nonetheless. Yellow and blue coming out of the turn is getting awfully close. 22 to go. The way they're coming across the line is the order they're in actually currently. Purple, yellow, blue, checkerboard, and gray is the first 4 teams in the points and only teams that are on the same lap at the front of this race. Everyone else in negative land. Bell's ringing again. Purple at the front, our race leaders. Currently with 31 points. The chasing team right behind him with 16. The blue and yellow. KW Racing team doing a very impressive job of not only covering this gap, but actually starting to close it down and maybe even get up to it. Still not able to get there for the 5 points. Purple will take the 5. Blue and yellow will take 3. White and green 2. I got the orange team getting in there for 1. Number 4, team 4, your partner's in the pit, but you're going to be continuing to ride. I think that's Chip Chase on the track right now. Your buddy's in the pit, so to speak. $17 to go. 4 laps remain. Bell's ringing for another sprint. Team Purple, our current race leaders, at the front. Checkerboard team right in pursuit. Can they finally get a 5 point? With somebody else beat this Purple team to the line for once? Okay, that wouldn't be for once. It's happened before. And maybe here comes again. Team Yellow and Blue coming rolling around the corner. It's time for them to find the 5 points. The KW Racing Yellow and Blue team picking up 5. The Checkerboard squad, white and green, getting 3. Purple picks up 2. The Gilchrist Architects light blue and white checkerboard team picked up the 1 point in that one. Unofficially, I have our leaders now at 38 points. The purple team, yellow and blue in second with 24, and checkerboard and white and green with 18 in third. Big move here from Team Purple. The fourth place team about 200 meters off the pace now, so this is a big investment. They're seeing if they can peel the remaining teams, if possible here, leave them in the dust. They're doing it just in time for this sprint. 3 sprints remain. Kovalchuk getting the bell for Team Purple. Our leaders will advance to 43 points is how I have it at 10 to go. Our second place team moving up to 27. Orange team picking up 2 points there.
Awesome, thank you.
So again, confirming our points, we are at 43 for our leaders, 27 for the second place team of yellow and blue, 16 for checkerboard white and green team, 2 for team 6, the gray team, make that team 3, the gray team for Sportsworks. At 6 to go, leaders getting the bell. 2 sprints remain. Our leaders move up to 48 points. Second place team moving up to 30. Our third place team moves up to 18. Order not changing. Our fourth place team staying in that position thanks to their laps. Team 3 of Harbison and Culp. Final sprint, double the points. 10, 6, 4, and 2 on the last effort. Two to go. Purple still at the front, team 9, with team 11 right in tow. Leaders in a moment beginning a bell. It's the 1 to go mark for our final race of this third session. Team purple, team blue and yellow. Team purple will pick up the 10. Yellow and blue take the 6 points. All done here as we come across the line. Our riders will exit. If you're behind Team Purple, you are exiting as you cross the line. And that'll do it as everybody's coming across the line. You are finished up. The Madison all exiting the track. Hey, look, it's 11. Hey, we made it, folks. Nicely done. Thanks for hanging out with us all the way through the end of our session. I'm going to transition to the handheld and get ready for some little bit quieter volume podiums here. We will be back for more racing tomorrow. Session 4 at noon. Session 5 at 7 p.m. Another big one of our evening events tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us, whether you were here in person or on the live stream. We look forward to seeing you for more racing tomorrow here at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.